this video I would like to talk about results. The system here is a direct result of the premium course, and it also produces results. We are currently in the last weekend of 2023, and at the end of the year there is always a review on television. This is something similar. Here you can see one of my accounts. I have several of them. And you can look at the results and ask yourself whether the system really works or not. This is the so-called platinum system, which can be configured in many different ways. In this variant I have set that a take profit value is also used for each open position. As you can see, all positions that are currently open are sell positions. That means positions that run against the current trend direction. We are in an uptrend. When I opened these positions there was still a stable downtrend, which then changed sometime in November. But let's just look at the hard numbers. I don't think your emotional situation depends on what my system looks like right now. Whether you are happy with your results probably plays a bigger role. If we look at the current open positions, we see that one of those positions is from December 26th and it's slightly in profit right now. If we switch to the tab with the historical data on the positions, we see that we have already closed 4 more such positions in profit since Christmas alone. This is because even in a stable upward trend there are always corrections, and these cause the price to move briefly in the opposite direction. And we can then use these corrections to close positions in profit that are running against the actual trend direction. What does this do in practice? Well, for example, you can use it to offset the costs of positions that have to be held for a longer period of time until the price moves back in the direction you had actually expected when you opened such positions. Of course, you could close the positions all at a loss, but there is one thing that comes into play that most people overlook, and that is the fact that price levels very often move in both directions over the course of a trend. This means that in an uptrend you can also generate profit with sell positions as the price moves more often in the same regions. On this chart alone you can see quite clearly that since the beginning of November the price has repeatedly moved up and down within a certain range. And now if you're asking yourself if this works for everyone, then the answer is definitely no, because most people just don't have the patience to endure situations like this. At this point, you would only see the open losses of the open positions. But if you take a look at the overall result, then you can definitely prove that with a deposit of 10,000 euros and a profit of currently 1,486 euros gross, the system has been profitable the whole time. We are talking about a time in which we are still dealing with the very negative effects of the biggest pandemic of the millennium so far, with inflation that has not been seen in this form for decades. And we are living in a time when wars are breaking out again and people are afraid of artificial intelligence taking over the world and possibly even having their own jobs replaced by artificial intelligence. Yes, I sell a course where you can learn how to program such systems, and I have some course participants who have achieved positive results. And if you are now asking yourself whether you could program something like this, then the answer is yes. I believe that this is technically feasible for anyone, even without prior knowledge, if the person invests the time, money and effort to actually achieve the goal. However, it always depends more on the person in front of the screen than on the actual system, because any system, no matter how good, can be manipulated or changed by anyone at any time because they are feeling bad. That's why my best tip for 2024 is to ask yourself what you are actually willing to do. Because if you are trading with a system that is profitable in the long term, like the one on this screen, then the change in your account balance alone could mean that you can no longer sleep peacefully at night because you are constantly worrying about a loss. Alternatively, you can use a so-called send account and grow into your system together with the account history. This strengthens your confidence in your own system. And only with confidence will you be able to run a system without manipulating it. If you want to learn technically how this system works and what works there, then I would recommend taking a look at the MQL5 premium course on the website. Because all my systems are based on the basics that are taught in this course, and the underlying framework is programmed by you in this course. You also get all the source code and can later customize or offer the system according to your own wishes and needs. But at the end of the year, it's always what you've actually done that counts, not what you wanted to do, and not the good resolution to stop smoking, eat less sweets or do more exercise that people will now make again in January. So, when you see lots of people on your doorstep again over the next few weeks, driving to the gym with their gym bag or running around the house in their jogging suit, ask yourself how many of them will actually have results to show at the end of the year. And if you don't like your own trading results for 2023 or if they aren't good enough, then perhaps I can help you with my course. But at the end of the year, it always comes down to one question. Not what you want, not what you say you want, but what do you actually decide to do now? Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next year.